Hi guys, welcome back to Open Jar Podcast. It's Jasmine. We are open heart, open mind, and open conversations to follow. Listen, this episode, I just feel like it's just getting better from here, okay? Every episode is just going to bring something new to life, and I'm so excited about this episode like I am with every episode because, I mean, like I told y'all before, I'm bringing my friends on, okay? And this episode is no different. We have, I think, let's see, how many years? Do we want to say the years, the age?
We're telling our age.
We're telling our age, but it is what it is. My friend Brittany, BDubb, I have known since third grade. This is wild. Oh my gosh.
We usually forget our friends like after like grade 2.
Oh yeah, it's on. Then you go to middle school. It's like you got a whole nother set of friends in high school. But luckily for us, we did end up meeting back in high school because I don't know what middle school did you go to?
I went to Lee. At the time it was called Lee, but now it's College Park. And then you went to Robinswood.
Yes.
So,
okay.
But we still kept in touch through
all of that
activities and being local is just the best.
And then back in high school. So Brittany, first introduce yourself a little bit. Tell the people a little something about yourself. A little something.
That's always like the hardest question because it's like you don't want to be like, let me tell you about myself.
No. So my friend Whitney was like, you need to pop your like, and I was like, you know what? I don't. Go off. Like talk your stuff.
Okay.
You've done a lot. Okay.
I've done a lot, and thank God I'm still trying to do a lot more. But I go by BDubb. My personal friends know me as BDubb. I grew up playing basketball. Grew up here, local Orlando, West Orlando. You know? And was fortunate enough to go off and play college ball. But outside of that, I'm a creative. I'm a visionary. Because you can't be modest anymore too much nowadays. So I've been that person, but it's time to, like you said, pop off. Just a little bit. But still humble and learning along the way. But just a little bit of everything.
I love it. And that is why I feel like we can really have this conversation because of all the things that you've done. There's a component to all of that you have to stay mentally sound to ride the waves and to ride the ebbs and flows of all of that. Yes. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to bring you on. But we're going to start back like high school. You played basketball.
Yes.
Forever. And then you went on to play ball in college. How was that experience? And then transitioning out of playing ball as like, that's professional. I feel like that's professional level. So transitioning out of that, how was that for you?
Oof. For me, it's been, I can say in the present, looking back and then seeing now, college basketball has like shifted with NIL deals and just the presence of social media alone has changed the whole trajectory of what college sports is. Not even just like basketball in my world, but, playing back then, it was, just you love the game. So you're blessed to be there. I was on a full scholarship. Praise the Lord. Amen.
Thank you, Jesus.
And played all 4 years at Wake Forest University. And it was more so than anything because I was very sheltered, as one would say, as a kid. I had the best supportive cast as a family, and all hands on deck. And transitioning to college, you're kind of like, oh shoot, like
this
it's
is
just
different.
me.
Yeah.
It's just
real
me,
different.
and I got to learn to deal with all these different personalities and these different people. And I went to what we would call, a very prominent school where you don't see a lot of people that look like us. I was fortunate enough to go off and visit HBCUs and be like, oh, there's schools that
it's just us.
It's just us. Yeah. Okay, like all right, cool. Growing up West Orlando, it's like
that's all you see.
That's all you see. It's family everywhere. And so that's just navigating that and then transitioning out of college. What a lot of people don't understand is when you've been doing something for a long time. And then you're just kind of like, okay, what's next? Like, I'm going to be dropped off in the real world. And now I think it's a little bit easier because you have the support of, coaches and, alumni. And for me, my personal experience, I didn't really have that.
Really?
And that would probably be shocking to a lot of people. I still keep in touch with a few people here and there, but I think now it's just kind of like, dang, like, I feel like I could have got a little bit more help, like transitioning out of college, if I'm, because in the sports world, it's like, oh, I'm going to be a professional player. And like, I had that dream.
Yeah.
And I did get out of college, and I played a little semi-pro ball and had a few offers here and there, but I had a janky agent, so it's just kind of like knowing how to work with an agent and knowing how to work with, trainers. And it's just kind of like I was navigating that space by myself. Yourself. Yeah.
Because it's not like it's not like you got somebody even told you, hey, make sure X, Y, and Z. Right. It's like you're just
There's no checklist.
There's no checklist.
Not one checklist. And everybody's checklist looks different. And if you're that player that went to a Duke, a UNC, and I've been blessed to know some of these people locally that went to college and I've played against, and it's like crazy to think like, wow, like they made it to the WNBA.
Gotcha.
They're overseas. They're got sponsorships and endorsements, and I'm just over here like, okay.
Anybody
three, y'all trying to help out, like
right.
It was very much that experience. So I think my experience would come as a shock to a lot of people.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Because from the outside looking in, I guess for me, I'm like, okay, you had this goal, you did to a certain extent, and then you just decided now it's just time to pivot. Like it's just time to, it's different season, something else. Like let's go do something else. But literally, it's just you did not have that support system, and that it brings you to like now if I was to do this, or if I was to ever have somebody that asked me questions, I'll be like, hey, this is what you need. Yeah. I feel like sometimes that's why we go through certain things, so we can be like, hey, little one, don't do that. You need, make sure you have somebody like really they're coaching you through it. Yes, you're going to have your coaches on the team, but like you really need somebody that's
on the path.
Yes.
I've been there and I'm here now, and this is how my life turned out. And when you said, if I had to go back, it's kind of like if I could tell myself, my younger self, hey, basketball is great, sweetie, but you get older, and this may not work out for you. So find something or someone that can help lead you, a mentor, somebody. That's what I would tell my younger self. Is hey, find someone that can get you right.
Facts. Yeah. Facts on facts on facts. Because you do not know what you don't know. No. And you're not going to, as you're navigating that space, you're like, well, I wish I would have had somebody that really helped me hone in on these skills. Like, this is what I can do. I'm able to do X, Y, and Z. Can you help me get it to that level? How do I get to that level without knowing who I'm supposed to talk to and who I'm supposed to be in the room with? That's good.
Yeah. And when you mention, you may have questions later. I don't want to, jump
Oh, no, you're fine.
But when you mention mental health, mental health looks different for everybody. And that is one of my triggers as an adult. When people say, oh, hey, you still playing ball? Or, hey, did you play overseas? Or you get all these questions about, your former, because that's who people know me as, the athlete.
Yeah.
People don't know me as just Brittany.
Yeah.
Just Britt, BDubb. And it's kind of like I'm dealing with that trauma now, like that trigger. It may seem very minuscule to some people that it's just like, oh, the girl is just basketball, you just playing basketball. But that was my life.
You did it for so many years.
That's all I did. I didn't know how to balance a checkbook. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what credit was. Like, I had all these things done for me as a younger self. So now I'm an adult, a mini adult. Wow. And I'm out here like, y'all pay rent? Oh.
Wow.
I've lived rent free for
10 years. Like, I don't know what
your time. A deposit, what is that? Like I gotta fill this out? Like, huh? Like, so it's just kind of like there was the basketball me, and then there was the real life Britt. Like,
that had to quickly learn
like learning to swim. No floaties.
Nothing. Just out there.
Just out there.
With the sharks.
With the sharks.
Everything.
The piranhas, you know, the folks that just, it's crazy. Like,
ooh,
it's definitely.
The fact that you said that triggered you is what really is like, ooh.
Yeah.
Because I think that's why I never, that really, it almost hurt my heart because it's like, I have seen you in different facets of your life and I see the evolution of who you are, but the fact that somebody would get stuck on one version of you. I am not just one person. I'm not just this one thing. And it's sad that you had to like just sink or swim, just jump out there after this huge part of your life shifts and you're like, okay, now let's find myself. Let's find who I really want to be without anybody to really guide you through that process. That is
just God, just me and God.
Just listen.
And all right, God, with him too.
Listen, I'd be like, listen, God. Okay, I definitely had them seasons. Like,
take me somewhere nice. Take me somewhere nice, God.
That's like, all I can ask.
I've been doing this all my life. I thought this was the purpose. I thought this is because you see, like, you know, you hear this constantly. You know, growing up in church and having family members that are very deep in church and. You know, finding your purpose. And it's like, my purpose is to serve God through sports. Like, I'm supposed to be in the league.
Yeah.
Like, hooping. I wasn't basic. Like, I was pretty decent.
She was nice.
Decent. Okay. I was all right, you know, but it's just kind of like, man.
Like that wasn't.
That wasn't it. Like, I had more to give, but it's just kind of like you deal with it as it comes.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm still trying to find peace with that. I watch games and I'm like, whoo.
Yeah.
Like, man, that could have been me, you know? And there's a lot of people in different facets of whatever it is that you do. And it's like, man, I could have been a great musician. That should be me winning a Grammy. That should be me winning a championship. But, like, right now in my life, I'm coming to terms with it. And it's like, I can still win a championship. But it may not be.
It's not going to be the same.
It may not be playing ball.
It's understanding, like, that shift happened for a reason. And who knows, like, once you finally figure out what that reason was, the whole why of it all, that's when you're like, okay, God. Yeah. All right, God.
And you see glimpses of that.
Oh, yeah.
You get glimpses of that, and that's what I latch onto. My faith is so strong in what I'm doing now. It's just kind of like, all right. I'm good at that. All right, God, I see you.
All right, and let's shift on over, because I see those glimpses. Like, when you first launched your first line, I was like, okay. My girl out here doing fashion too? Yeah. Check, let me get that. I got the hat, I got the shorts, I still have everything. I saw the shift, and I was like, I remember when you were just posting like little glimpses on social media of like you painting, and I was like, what we got going on?
More to the story.
I was like, what we got going on?
There's more to this book.
But that is those little glimpses, because even like for me, when I've been a photographer for 13 years, and I started doing real estate photography. That wasn't really the overall goal, but I got into that. So you kind of get good at something, right? You start doing that, you're like, you fall into this, I'm good at this. Like, this works for me. Yeah. Then I got my real estate license. So I was like, this works for me. This goes together. I can market for myself, market for my client. Like, it works for me. But then I was like, but I love taking photos of people. But people only knew me as a real estate photographer. And so I'm like, I got to shift this. Like, I can't expect people to, if I every now and then pop out with, you know, just a random photo of somebody, and they're like, oh, you do? Yeah.
You do headshots?
Yeah,
not just headshots, though.
I do headshots. I do events.
I do like, a little bit of all.
I do a little bit. But it was like, I had to, it wasn't until this year when everything just like, the guy was like, we going to mix all of this
sprinkle
up.
Something in.
That little razzle-dazzle. Go ahead. It's time for you to switch that up. And that was when I was like, I got to change this. I don't want to do real estate anymore. Like, it was time for me to shift out of it. That's not my full time anymore. Now I have like a work from home job, and I also still do photos, but it's on a different scale because the vision, the purpose has shifted.
Mm-hmm.
And once you finally get a glimpse of that, it's like, oh.
Yeah. Because you always know what you want to do.
Oh, yeah.
You're just trying to find that space to say, now's the time to do it.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to do this.
Yes.
Even if I do it just for a couple hours.
I just need a little taste.
To do it.
Yeah. I gotta feel what this is. And I think for me, the first time I started to get a glimpse of it was like really last year when a couple of people was like, oh, can you be my life coach? And I was like, life coach? I don't got no certification for that, but what you need?
That's crazy because you give off that vibe. If people,
right.
if y'all really got to meet Jay over here in person, you would get that vibe like I'm safe. Like she'll take care of me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She knows.
I'm not
she pour into my cup.
Oh yes, and that is the thing. And so I started pouring into people's cup last year, like really people outside of my circle, like people that are just like, hey, I just need somebody to talk to. I'm like, okay, like no problem. But then I realized once my sister passed, I needed my cup filled because I was like, I don't got it right now.
Oh yeah,
I don't got it right now.
I've been there.
I was like, this is not the first, not the second, third. This is the third time I done had to go through something like this, and I don't got it. So once I started filling my cup again, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm in a better space. Right. That's when the podcast was like, it's time. It's time. God was like, it's time, and me in my head, I was like, oh, well, you want me to do it this way? Like, I'm supposed to go over here and do it. He was like, no, I didn't tell you to do it that way. Yeah. You go on over here. It's like I told you, it's already set how you're supposed to do it.
I'm going to tell you what to do.
I'm going to tell you. You trying to come up with your own plan, and I've already told you what you're supposed to do.
Right.
And as soon as I started, I was like, okay. Then opportunities like this happen. And I'm like, I would have never, like, all that you just shared, I'm like, dang. I would have, you see somebody from a certain distance, and you're like, they got help. Yeah. Like, it's like, no, I'm out here.
I see it here. I understand because I see it like this, and I've had to understand this. Especially with social media now, it's like a hyper version of it. But we only get, if it's not your immediate family or if it's not a best friend, we only get what I would call just the Netflix preview of people. And you can't base anything off of that. Because I've literally seen people from afar, and then I meet them in person, and it's almost like two different people. Yeah. Because we're so, we're in a facade now. Like, we subconsciously do it. Like, I'm out in the world, people don't know who I am, so this is the outside me, and then when you get around your people. Oh,
this all of me.
This all of me. Y'all finna get everything. You know what I mean? So I think that we're just so... we're wired that way now. Yeah.
But it's almost for your protection.
Absolutely.
Because as much as you want to be as open, you can't be open with everybody. No. Because everybody is not supposed to know the ins and outs of you.
A word.
And like I've come to realize that even with some of the episodes that I've dropped, like some people had their opinions already, and I'm like, your opinion means what to me right now? Like, there's certain individuals.
Social media is giving everybody a voice.
Oh yeah.
It's not even just social media. It's like, in real life, we sit in a boardroom with people, or you sit at a table with people, and everybody has their opinions. But I'm not just getting what's at the table now. I'm getting every part of the world's opinion. Yeah. So it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
It is. It really is. But when you first dropped your first line, you call it a capsule.
Capsules, yes.
When you first dropped your first capsule, what was the oomph behind that? Because it was like, man.
So naturally, I'm always nervous. Always.
Of course.
There's always anxiety when you're putting something out in the world, and you want people to like it as much as you do. Yeah. And I've gone through, I've changed my brand like 3 times. The name has been 3 times. And shout out to Virgil, rest his soul, because he always preached about never being married to an idea. Because you kind of box yourself in. You give yourself a ceiling by saying, oh, this is going to work. Yeah. This is that one thing that's going to work. And that doesn't work every time.
Facts.
Yes, consistency works, but being married to an idea is, for me, and I'm understanding, is you don't want to be safe. Taking risk is what is going to help you
Absolutely.
And I started with Ambition 89, and that was just like an ode to like, I'm gonna just do this. This is me. I'm having ambition, and the year I was born. Yeah, I know my age now, so
listen,
get it, do the math. But then I was just like, going through the motions with that first capsule. Like, it was exciting, but it was just kind of like, I had been doing custom clothing, and I had been doing a bunch of different little projects here and there for friends and stuff. And so this was just kind of like me putting that project out in the world and letting other people have access to it. And then what happens is you don't build consistency based off of like sales. That's how I thought it worked. And being navigating a space where I have no idea, mentor. Yeah. I'm doing this solely from YouTube University. Like I'm learning this as I go. So I think people that have been following me for this long have seen the brand change in so many different ways, but it's still the same thing. And what I'm working on now is consistency, but not at the pace that other people want me to work. And I've learned that through other designers, like Jerry Lorenzo. He's Fear of God Essentials, if you've ever seen that. He doesn't really follow
the trends
fall,
of
winter,
everything.
Summer. But, there's things in the fashion world that you have to follow if you want to do, shows and stuff. But a lot of, like, successful designers out there don't follow these schedules.
Right.
And so that's something I wanted to adopt. And for me, it's also the pressure, again, with social media. Hey, when's your next capsule? What are you dropping this? And it's just like, I was pressured to do it. So then I like kind of stopped, and I was like, I don't even like the name Ambition 89 anymore. I'm going to change it to Alchemy 11, which super successful, and it's like first birth, rebranding in there. And again, that whole like keeping up with, the demand. And I think the way I put it out at first, it was just like one-of-ones and custom clothing and just revamping vintage clothing. And people are like, okay, there's nothing in my size. Can you make this? Or da-da-da. So then I started like kind of mass producing things.
Yeah.
And then I felt myself being on that schedule, like, okay, I need to make 6 of these, 10 of these. I need 20 orders of this. And
I remember you posted about that.
Yeah, it's just kind of like, okay, I'm doing it again. And so then you just got to like bring yourself back. Like, all right, this is fun. This is cool. I did a pop-up shop, my first pop-up shop with that brand. And again, it was successful, having people show up for you. And that just does something for your creative ego, as I call it. Like, okay, I can do this.
Like y'all are liking what I'm putting out.
Like this,
y'all gonna come and buy it? Oh, okay,
cool, and it's not only that, but I'm still working a full-time job, too. Like, this wasn't something that I did just solely doing this brand. And that was hard to keep up with. Just the consistency that I wanted to keep up with was just like being so exhausted from my job, and then
having to spend hours.
What a lot of people also probably didn't know is that I do this brand by myself. I don't have a team. I don't have a marketing team. I am HR. I am customer service.
The creative, custom designer, all of the things.
I have people that
shipping, handling, everything.
Like everything. Like, oh, you need to speak to HR? Okay, hold on.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, it's me. How you doing? Like, that's how I'm operating right now. And it's, I have reached out for help here and there, but when you want something done your way. When you want something done your way, and
you gotta do it yourself.
You gotta do it yourself. So
it's hard.
I, interjected myself in, some retail jobs, and just to get an experience of like what it is to run a business. And even with smaller brands, it's like I'll message them, email them, hey, like, how do you handle shipping? Like, is there do you use this? And so then I just began like outsourcing information. And while I had Alchemy 11, I was learning so much. And so that's when I was just like, okay, I'm about to start over again. Like,
why not? I feel like, why not?
And people, like, that's one thing is a lot of people project their fears on you. And when people get comfortable with something, they'll let you know that they don't like it. Mm-hmm. Even if there's something they have nothing, they have no attachment to it.
Nothing to do with it at all.
They never helped it. Why you changed the name and da-da-da. But I understand that because it's like if Nike was like, hey, we're going to become N. And you're going to be like, what? Like,
but I also feel like in that, which is what aggravates me sometimes as an entrepreneur, is when somebody interjects and they have nothing to do with it. No and idea. It's like, at the end of the day, you are a custom designer. Right. So if I decide that the name of this custom company that I like, if it's gonna change, right. It's gonna change it. Either y'all gonna rock with it or you're not. Like,
and that's another thing that you hit it right on the head. It's like I got so caught up in people pleasing throughout my journey that I lost what I wanted to do. Mm-hmm. Oh, why you don't make this type of short, or why? So here I am trying to bring it all together. Like, I need to make this type of short. Da da da. But it's like, Britt, if you don't want to make that,
don't make it.
Why are you doing that? You know what I mean? And it's just like one piece of advice, if I could give to anyone that's doing something on their own, stick to your instincts, stick to your plan. Because it's your vision. God placed that vision on your heart.
You and you alone.
It's a reason why God didn't give them the vision.
Absolutely.
Because it's for you and only you.
Yeah.
So trust what is being shown to you and trust what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of naysayers. There's a lot of people that will distract you from your purpose, distract you from greatness by projecting their fears and what they want you to do.
And what they've never tried to do. They've never even had a vision of doing the thing that you're doing, but will come and try to put all they ish on you.
Because the thing is, they see the end product. So
and they think they know better than
you. And it's just like, and a lot of them may know. Like, a lot of them may have a business, or you know.
It's like if you have sound advice, I'm here for sound advice.
Absolutely, I'm very.
But if you're criticizing me just to criticize me because it's not something that you came up with, that's when I'm like, yeah. How about you go on over there? If you want to create a business, create a business.
Go ahead, I'll support.
I will support. If you got questions, if you got real questions, I will help you because I'm clearly in the process of developing a business. Right. I've been doing this. I've been going through the process, and I've seen what works and what doesn't. So if you want me to make some specific thing, this is why I can't.
Right.
This is like that's, and I feel like as you start really like you're learning, I can't do that. Yes. I can't that people pleasing. I feel like that's something.
And it's crazy because your other podcast, you're speaking to Darren. What up, Darren? And he said, learning to say no. And for me as an adult right now in this space, the power of no is just, like, it's crazy. Literally. Because no is a word that we receive as something negative all the time. But now, as you grow in your mental health, and I'm growing, is, for me, no means, hey, that's okay. Yeah. You can't do that today, that's fine. You can't do that today. Right. No also means in the creative space, I don't have the physical capacity to do that. Mm-hmm. So I'm not going to sit here and make empty promises
that I know I
can't do. And for me as a creative, and especially, again, going back to the social media hyper creative world, everybody wants to have it together. Right. And we don't have it together. And that's something I had to learn. Like, in the sports world, if I shoot 1,000 free throws, I'm destined to be a decent free throw shooter. Right. You know, like, in the creative space, if I don't know how to sew well, I need to dedicate time to sewing well. Mm-hmm. But if someone's like, hey, can you make me a 2-piece suit? Absolutely not. Because I do not know how to sew that well. And I need to be able to articulate that to the person, the end consumer that wants that thing, and not be afraid to say that. Yeah. Because we're just trying to keep up with this facade that I know how to do it all.
And I don't.
And
nowhere did I say I was perfect, that I had it all together, that I can help any and everybody. I think that was the biggest and greatest things when I dialed back my real estate photography business, and I had to pretty much tell my clients, I'm no longer available. Mm-hmm. And that, there was so much... It was
box.
It really did, but it was so much power in being like, I can't do this anymore. Mm-hmm. And I didn't even go into all the details. I was like, life is changing. Mm-hmm. It's transition season, and I can't do this. That was me saying,
right.
No, I'm no longer available. Nope,
right.
I can't do it.
It allows you to be, when you're in a space where you're saying, like, I can't do this, but it gives you this breath of fresh air, this creative energy that says, now I can think for myself.
Yes.
Now I can dedicate time to this thing that you may think it's a piece of clothing, but I'm building something right now to make it easier for you as a consumer to obtain my clothing.
Yeah.
You know, like, you may not see that I'm saying no because, I'm actually building this membership for you.
Right.
That you won't even have to ask me. You could just go online and do it and da-da-da-da-da. And you I'm basically eliminating the invisible middleman that I have to make it easier for you so that you're not waiting on me. You know what I mean? So a lot of people just, again, see the end product. They don't see what you're trying to do to make things better in the future. And, you know, pigeonholing yourself by saying, yes, I can do it. Yes, I can do this. Yes, I can do this. I've done a lot of things. I could make a shirt down to somebody wanting a pillowcase. You know, like, I've done those things.
I love it.
To store signage, to, like, just exploring, because there's things I will say yes to, specifically for, you need to learn this.
Right.
Not because I want to be known as the Renaissance woman. Like,
no.
I can do it all, but no, if I'm able to do this, then that's something I can add to my resume.
Yeah.
And then I've communicated with clients before, hey, I'm making this jacket currently, and I'm not able to sew or zip this, you know, put this zipper on a certain way.
Right.
And I think people are more receptive to your honesty and your authenticity while doing something, rather than you saying, oh, it's just going to take 4 more days. Why? And I'm a curious person, so I want to know, you know, everything, especially if I'm paying my money. Why is this happening? Or, like, how much delay? Longer?
Yeah.
Like, what's the delay? You know, but I try to articulate and say, hey, like, I'm working on this right now. A lot of them don't know I have another job, so they're just kind of like, what is the problem? Like, what is the holdup? And that's just something I'm working on within myself. And with my brand, it's just kind of like finding that happy space, that consistent space.
Yeah. And
giving myself boundaries to be able to be productive.
Listen, them boundaries,
they be doing stuff.
Listen.
They be moving sometimes.
It sets you up to be the best version of yourself.
Oh, absolutely.
I had to realize that. Like, creating those boundaries for business, for personal, for family, for like.
Right. Because if you're not giving yourself boundaries, you're not able to produce that thing at 100%. If I'm working on a project and someone comes in midway through, hey, can you do this shirt for me? Or, hey, can you do this project for me? And I say yes, that person that was before them, they're not going to get my full dedicated gift, quote unquote, because I'm trying to separate myself into so many pieces.
Yes.
And no one out there, I don't know a lot of people that can do this, and if you are, kudos to you, and I can learn something, but I've never seen someone be able to handle so many different things on their own.
Right.
And that's why we have teams, right?
Right.
We have teams to delegate things to different people, but when it's just you,
it does take time.
It takes time. And until I get to that level where I do have a team, things obviously I hope to be, you know, as fluid as I want it to be, but in this time, in this space, I think it's just being vocal, being transparent, communicating, and setting those boundaries to say, hey, I can't do this from Monday to Wednesday, but I can absolutely help you from Thursday to Friday. And I have to uphold that.
Absolutely.
Because I've been guilty of that. Yeah. Like, oh, I did say I could do this Thursday. My bad. I'm actually here. And then it's like you let yourself down, and then you let your consumer down, because these boundaries that you set, or this time frame that you set, is something that you can uphold. Right. So it's just kind of like, don't build yourself up so high that you done teared yourself down
and disappoint everybody.
So then you're just in this cycle.
If you hold yourself to that standard, like, I'm just going to be as real as I can. This is where I'm at. This is where I am in life. People are like, oh, okay, I can respect that. Okay, I understand. I understand where you're coming from. But when you try to be like, oh, well, I got you. Don't even worry about it. It's like, well, do you really got me?
Yeah. Do you?
Do you?
Because I've been in this space, and I'm not afraid to share this now because that's a whole nother thing, but being confident within yourself and knowing that you can do a task is one thing, but having the courage and having, just being able to say, hey, I'm not able to do this.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's fine to promise something to someone, but I'm in a space right now where I'm just kind of like habitually doing things, and that's where I need to retract. And that's why you may not see a capsule come out. Mm-hmm. You may not see a collection come out because I'm not ready. I'm not able to meet the demand of my own workings right now.
Right.
And I don't want to put anybody else in that space. But when I do, those people show, the people that are meant to be there and the supporters that really, truly support you, they'll show up again. They just wait. They on the bench. They'll be like, when you're ready, let me know.
Yeah, whenever you drop we're there.
Whenever you drop, I'm there. And those are the people I hold super close to my heart because those are the people that encourage you to be even better.
Yes.
I've had people cuss me out through social media. I had people physically call me, how are you a business owner? How are you? I never said I was a business owner. I just said I was a creative and I have a brand, but that's on me too, I guess, and it's just navigating all those different things.
And you have to understand people are also ridiculous.
Very. But there's a lot to learn from them. Like I was in a space where I was just like, dang, and I would go off. My reaction was so like, word, that's how you feel?
Okay.
Word, you ain't never seen another piece of archive ever again, bro. Like, da-da-da-da. Like, go find somebody else to do it. Da-da-da. And I will. And it's like, okay.
Okay.
But now I'm able to sit, think, and respond as someone that knows how to, a business person.
Right.
Because there's people out there right now that have ordered something, and I'm just like, hey, look, it'll be ready this time. Hey, I'm going to get it to you this time. And I let them down sometimes, and that frustrates me. Yeah. And it's just kind of like, all right, Britt, you got to figure it out before it just completely crumbles, And when you have a gift that you hold so dear to your heart, and it's like you want people to feel that through your clothes, you want people to feel that through your words, but they're human. They pay for something, they want it. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's a part of the business that I really, work on the most.
Absolutely.
And there's only so many times where you can be like, hey, I appreciate you supporting me. I'm going to get that to you next week. Next week comes. Hey.
So what happened was.
And you get those people, those supporters like, it's all good. I appreciate that feedback. Yeah. I'll see it when I see it. But everybody's not going to be that way. No. And that's just something I'm learning as I go along. And it's been years. I've been making clothes for almost 10 years.
Dang, it's been that long?
It's been that long.
Golly.
And I just know that God will have a space for me to figure it out. Yeah. And in that, I just need to stay present.
Yeah.
And there's the people that help me stay present and people that encourage me. Shout out to y'all out there because I would be in such a bad place if that one or two or three people didn't reach out and say, hey, you have a gift, and when you thrive in that gift, I'll be here. Mm-hmm. And those are the people that keep me going. You know what Absolutely. I mean? And the people that truly love me for me. And there's a lot of supporters out there that don't even know me, but they speak to me in that way. Yeah. So that's just another way. That's like an affirmation for God, for me, that's just kind of like, you can do this.
That's real.
Give yourself grace. That's the one for
Give
me.
yourself grace. I was like, listen, outside of your tribe and the people that show up for you, that really encourage you, that give you that push, what else in your faith, what else pushes you and keeps you grounded? Because there's a lot of things, whether it's the clients that come in that don't care about you being a person, they only care about you as the business owner, the creative.
I got something for you on that one.
Listen.
In this season, because I believe we all go through seasons, and this is something that I love self-help books. I love self-help everything, but all of something that is consistent and the common denominator is your environment. You can't, there's one thing to give yourself grace and, I'm not good at this, da-da-da. But if you have negative energy around you that encourages that, negativity within you, get rid of them. Yeah. Cut them off. Yeah. Because we're in a space now where time is limited. And if I want to spend time with someone, I need to be able to leave that space encouraged. My cup needs to be full. If I don't feel that way now, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
And that's probably why my life has changed a little bit as far as friends go, and associates and whoever else is around me, is because I've been around very negative energy. I've been around negative creators. Oh, so-and-so did that. Oh, I could do that better. That's trash and da-da-da. And it's like, wow, like, that's real negative. Like, to them, that may be everything. And I was around people like that. I was around people that's like, oh, in the sports world, like, there's so many influences that are just swirling around. I already get it from social media. Like, I don't need that extra. I don't need a physical presence for negative energy. No. So for me right now, especially encouraging my friends that are around me, let that go. Because all that's doing is hindering your growth. That's hindering your mental growth. And you're not able to be the best version of yourself if you have all these outside influences. That's real. And one thing I've told my friends is that if I'm not able to be there for you, if I'm not able to pour into your life, are we really friends? Like, are we just clubbing? Are we just bar hopping? Are we just gossiping? Like, I don't want that energy anymore. Yeah. So now the friends that I do have are creatives, are our photographers, just rooted in the faith. Yeah. I have my friend Brooke out there. Brooke Thomas, listen, I love you.
She just stopped that podcast. I love it.
She's somewhat, we may not talk every day, but one thing I can do is text Brooke and say, hey, can you give me an encouraging piece today? Can you give me an encouraging word? And by God, it's delivered within minutes, you know, and it's something that I've said, you know, I'm going to be present for those that are present for me. Because if I don't have the presence of that positive energy, all I'm going to do is downward spiral. Like, I just need, I was very much a people person. I worked in nightlife. I worked in every aspect to where there's tons of people around me. And now, as I've grown older, I'm not so much a people person. I like to be home. And COVID probably enhanced that for a lot of us. For sure. But I realize I'm most at peace. At home. Or just with one other person that is just able to mentally encourage me. Yeah. Mental exercise, as I say. Because we can work out physically, but can you work out in a conversation? Can we do that?
Can we talk?
Can we have a circuit where we just, chit-chat about life real quick? Yes. Because I don't like small talk. Oh my gosh. Like, save me the small talk. Like, what we talking about? What we doing? You know what I mean? Like, I just like to be around people that have the mental capacity to just, how are you today? Yeah. And then we can go into something deeper, or it could just be surface level. It doesn't always have to be deep, but surrounding yourself with like-minded people, I cannot tell you how important that is.
Oh no, that's so real. I literally had a conversation with my cousin the other day, and I was like, I realize how much my friend circle has shifted. At one point, it's not like I always had a ton of friends. I really haven't. I've always been very introverted.
Who really got a ton of friends, for real?
It's a lot of associates, people that I see when I see you.
10,000 followers, but you got 2 friends.
Right.
That's me for real, but hey.
It's all good. But it's like, even within the people that I really considered friends, even that has shifted, where I was like, no, like, there's a certain, I can like be like, oh no, y'all my real friends. Y'all have seen me through some of the darkest seasons. Y'all have poured into my cup when I needed. You checked on me. You've shown up, and I can't say that for everybody. And so those are the people when it's time to, like, y'all want to come over, like, oh, these only people that's gonna be up in this space. Listen, if you got my address, then you're welcome. You a friend for real. You a friend for real. Because unless you looking it up and being stalkerish and finding it online. Otherwise,
it's got to be what it is. And I have my friends that are close to me. Y'all know who you are, but I have one friend in particular, my best friend, Nella. Shout out to Nella. But I could call her at 2 a.m. And I feel like you need that one person. Oh yeah, that's just like, yo, I'm on the side of I-4. it's 4 a.m. Don't ask me what I was doing at 4 a.m.
Don't ask me no question. Just come.
I need you to pull up.
Yeah.
All right, I got you. And everybody may not have that person, and that's why I'm so deep rooted in my faith. Because my best friend may not be able to come at 4 a.m. But who is able to come at 4 a.m. when you're in your darkest hour mentally? You know what I mean? And it's just kind of like it's weird because I'm very much extroverted personality, but I'm very much introverted day to day.
Yeah.
And that's something also.
Ooh, I can be extroverted when I want to be, but.
Yeah, it's almost like a code switch in a way where it's just like, I don't do it on purpose, but I've learned where I'm needed and where I'm not. That's like the biggest thing for me. Where I am needed and where I'm not, because at a point in time, I would hold myself so high in people's lives to the point where I let myself down. Because I thought I was here, but you got me here.
Oh, yeah.
All right, cool.
I thought I was like, yo, A1, yo, day one. And clearly,
like,
I'm not.
And it's not even that. It's like they won't even tell you. You might see it on social media, and that even, it does it to you more just because you you hold this level of where you are in other people's lives, and you just get so, caught up in that. And you constantly let yourself down. So one thing I've especially worked on is I'm first in everything. It's God, then it's me, then it's my family. That's it. Like, then my friends, and it fluctuates, based on what we got going on. But if you don't hold yourself high, you will constantly let yourself down. Yeah,
you'll constantly be in the people-pleasing mindset. You'll constantly be disrespecting your own boundaries. You'll constantly be trying to live for other people and not living for yourself. Even as a mom, like I had to come to the understanding, especially as I was like going through my divorce and everything. I had to be like, okay, God, me, my child. I'm still like, she write it down, but I
the best version of yourself. You said that earlier.
She has to see. In order for me to be the best parent for her, I have to be the best woman for myself.
Absolutely.
And I can't show up as just mom. I'm not just a mom.
Right.
I'm not. Like, at the end of the day, I have all these other facets of me. I'm not just a business owner. I'm not just a photographer. And if you're ever asked to, like, introduce yourself, a lot of times we use those labels of, like, I'm a photographer.
That's why it was so hard for me. Cause
I know.
I let just life dictate what I am right now. Because,
ooh, that's good.
Because we, again, like, I'm not trying to Bible beat, but it's just like my path is already written out for me. So who am I to say I'm a creator? I am an athlete. I am that. And of course there are business labels and we give ourselves these day to day. But when people ask me, are you a stylist? And I'm like, sure. If that's what you're comfortable with. If that's what you need at the moment, sure. But I'm like, so we got so many labels flying around, so many pronouns, I just, right now, I'm just like, today I'm this. Tomorrow I'll be something else. Right. And that is okay.
Right.
Like, you have to give yourself grace. You have to be able to say, yesterday I was a fashion designer and a stylist. Today, I am at home in my pajamas, and I am a novelist. like, that's just,
facts.
It's day to day. Give yourself grace.
Facts. So, what is one of the next things that you want everybody to know that is coming? That is like, it's because there's, I know it's stuff bubbling up that's about to be like dropping soon.
Yeah. So my brand is Arc and Hive now. Arc and Hive Artelier. If you know what Artelier is, a word I kind of generated from the word atelier. And atelier is like a workshop, a place where things are made, garments, dresses, wherever. Dolce & Gabbana, Gucci, all of these houses have ateliers where they have seamstresses and people. So I put art atelier because the way that I do things is pretty much using art to enhance clothing, to enhance whatever that thing is that you want. And for me right now is just creating. So what people can expect is art. Just abnormal things that may not be seen as art, but you can wear them. You won't look like everybody else. That's something that I struggle with because I'll go to a store and be like, ooh, this is cute, I want to put this on it, you know, or
right.
I want to rip this up. I want to do
right.
this. And I think what I'm trying to strive within my brand is embracing the individuality of things and wanting people to feel like kings and queens, like walk in with confidence because you wear an Ark and Hive piece and you don't look like nobody else in the spot.
Nobody else.
You know, and it's just like you're the only person in the world with this. So I think what you can expect is a lot of custom pieces, art pieces that you can collect. And the goal is to not make your wardrobe different, but to add to who you already are. Some people are like, I don't know how to wear your clothes. You wear my clothes. The clothes don't wear you.
I can't tell you how to wear it.
You wear it is however way you want. And I adopt that kind of ideology with Virgil because he was a huge influence. It's funny because he was somebody I hated to love. Because everything he touched, he was the Midas of our generation is what I say. This man had a collaboration with everybody. I'm like, dang, it's cute or whatever, but like you gotta collab with Oreos, you know what I mean, or something crazy he would have. But it's just like being able to build on it even more because I love when somebody gets a hoodie of mine and they cut it. Oh, I love this hoodie. I'ma crop it. Ooh, do that. Yes. Because it's an ongoing conversation. Yes, my brand is not for the I don't know if this is the correct term, but it's not for the pompous. It's not for the people that want to be seen. I want it to be inspired. I want you to be inspired by it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a dope hat. Where'd you get that? Oh, it's a brand called Ark and Hive. Like, she makes random things, and it's just fun. Like, I just want to have fun with it. So I want people to be able to shop without pressure, with knowing, like, I can grab this T-shirt and I could wear it day to day. I could wear it to an event. You know, I get this jacket. Oh, this is fire.
And stand out.
Yeah, and I hope to, in the future, have pieces that you can build on. So you'll be able to buy a jacket for me, per se. And it's got just basic logoing or whatever. But then you can bring it back to me later and turn it into something else.
Oh, that's...
So...
I see the vision!
I see the vision. It's an ongoing conversation, and the next capsule should be dropping within a week or two. Just a little sprinkle razzle dazzle. But we shall see. And I'll be traveling a little bit just to get out and see other cultures and see other things and
to add on to the vision.
Yeah. And I'm constantly influenced by other people and other designers, but I've also shut myself out a little bit more and tailored my content to what only things that I want to see.
Right.
I think that's super important as a creative, as a designer, or whatever you may call yourself, is to just stick to your vision. Because you're constantly influenced. We're constantly being, having ideas and different things thrown at us. I've been even, to not segue too far off, but I've thought of something to design, and I've seen it. Like, what? Like, I was going to make that. Like, right. So that's another thing. You think you just have your mind. And one thing I can encourage you is you are you. There is nobody else that thinks like you. No one else in this world could think like shout out to Beyonce. But you are you.
Yeah.
That person may have made a nice button-up shirt, but you can make a button-up shirt. The world is saturated with all these designers, and you are you.
But every industry, and I always go back to the bread illustration. If you walk down the bread aisle, cereal aisle, there are tons of brands of bread to choose from. And some people like this brand over this brand. But it's a ton of bread on the aisle. So don't feel like, oh, I can't do that because there's somebody else doing it. Of course there's going to be somebody else doing it.
It's like you could be anywhere else in the world, but you're here with me. But it's like, no, literally. Like, you could go to any other store in the world. Literally. But you came to shop with me.
Literally.
You know what I mean? So that means everything to me.
Absolutely.
And so anybody that's supporting, I encourage you guys to keep supporting.
Listen.
It keeps the new pieces flowing.
Absolutely.
But if you own anything of mine, it means the world to me. It's crazy because people that I had a surreal experience for the first time last year. I was in, I think, Zara, in the mall, and a girl's coming up the escalator. This is local. I ain't global yet. But she's coming up the escalator, and it's a shirt of mine. It's a shirt I made that she ordered off my website.
Wow.
And I go, I love your shirt. You know, just to see if she knew who I was, because she looked familiar, but I was like, maybe not.
Maybe not, yeah.
I was like, I love your shirt. And she goes, thank you. And I was like, don't do it. But I said, oh, I made it like that. And she goes, oh, like totally was like yeah,
whatever.
Right.
Okay.
Like, whatever. But I was just like,
that just shows.
That's cool.
That's
shows so cool.
Ooh, that shows impact and that shows reach. Without you even being the complete face of your brand, people know your brand. People see your brand. So it doesn't.
Surreal. That was crazy.
It doesn't always have to be like somebody. Oh, I see you and I know it's your brand. But like, she's like, okay.
Yeah, she was like, ah, ha, ha, and then kept going up the escalator. And I was just like to myself, I'm like, but you don't have to be the celebrity. You know, let your. I want my art to speak for itself. I want my art to be in the room when I'm not there. You know, I want my presence of just the creativity and just the carefreeness and whimsical wanderlust of my brand to be, transcend way beyond. Because everything that we do now is going to be somewhere else in the future when we're no longer here. So, if you want to leave something behind, like, that's just pretty much what I'm striving for. So.
I love it. I love it. Well, listen, I know we could keep going, but I don't want to take too much of your time. I appreciate you for coming and
thank you for having me.
Speaking with me today. Like this was good.
This inspired me. This definitely inspired me. I'm not too much vocal or, you know, out there,
flowing,
very private
just
now,
like a professional.
This is good.
Thank you so much. If you could leave one gem for the people about mental health, about fashion, about anything, what would that be?
Ooh, there's so many, but there are so many people in the world doing what you are doing, but there is only one you. So be as free and as humble and constantly be a learner.
Yeah.
And no one wants to be a carbon copy of anything else. So just stay true to you and be authentic. I know that was a lot.
But no, all of those things are...
Authenticity is key.
It is.
We're in such a society, we're in such a world right now where we need to be someone else. Just be yourself. Be yourself, because authenticity will take you so much further than trying to hold something up that you're not.
Oh, yeah.
So... do that.
Oh, yeah.
If there's something you want to do that in the most authentic way possible.
Listen, that's it. Listen, that is why we're here. That is why Open Jar Podcast was created. It's about being the real version of yourself, about showing people the real version of you, and having conversations about all the things that the ebbs and flows. Like, there's so many things that people are going through, that people deal with, that they don't feel like they can see themselves in somebody else because of, especially social media and all. But it's like, no, somebody around you understands. If you aren't being your true self, people aren't going to feel like they are seen and heard and understood. So thank you guys for tuning in for episode 5. Oh my gosh, we're at episode 5. Hey. Episode 5, Open Jar Podcast. I will see you guys next time. Bye.